Hello, everyone. I'm good. I'm fine. I like to open the show with a little phlegm. I feel like it humanizes me. Good morning. Welcome to the program where I make the coffee in my underwear. The coffee will be this Earth coffee. It was a gift. It's an espresso roast. It's in support of the World Food Program, and they put an E at the end, which is very fancy. Ooh, let's hear how sad the world is. With each bag sold, we donate 1 week of school meals to a child. So we're all participating in something good today. I want you to know that. The underwear here is a wonderful diesel kind of deal. They are maroon. And the thing I like about the color maroon is it's as a man gets older, he begins to wear maroon, because when you're a kid, you wear red. You always want to wear red. And when you're very old, when you're near death, you just wear brown and beige. So maroon is halfway between that. That's how you can tell what life stage the gentleman is at. Also, you wrote wonderful questions already. If you have any questions about love and dating or whatever, let me know. And they're already here. Rob said, hey, RJ, I don't know if you saw. Sorry, my Twitter DM didn't have any South Pacific references in it, like I specifically requested. Thank you for doing the cameo. I've been having a hard time lately, but it really made me smile. That's so sweet. Rob said, who should pay on the first date? Well, I guess in one sense, some people can say the man, and I understand why they feel that. And it's like, okay. Other people say the asker should pay, which makes sense. Like, if you want to come to this movie with me, if I ask that to you, I should kind of be the one paying, and fair enough. However, I also say, now, if you go on a date and you don't want to go again, whatever, just whatever the quickest route to the exit is fine. If you want to have a second date, you can let them pay, or whoever pays, doesn't matter, and just do you get the next one, or I'll get the next one kind of thing. And that way it all evens out. Also, what you could do is, if you're on a date and, like, let's say I pay for dinner, and like, oh, and then they feel bad, and I'm like, just buy me a coffee or something, and then we go somewhere else. You have to do the multi-stop date is where it's at. It's very important. Kyle A said, fuck, marry, kill. Rhoda Morgenstern, Carol Brady, Laverne DeFazio. I'm killing Carol Brady. I did not like her at all. There's nothing to do with Florence Henderson. I just don't care for Carol. Oh, wow. I guess I have to marry Rhoda. So, as the saying goes, I'm fucking Laverne. Right in her schlemazel. So Karia says, oh man, this is going to be a good show. Well, I don't know how we're doing so far. Scott says, good morning. Spencer said, one of my favorite colors. We're back to maroon. Slave Gamer said, I always liked when Bugs Bunny called people a maroon. And of course, if you maroon someone, you like strand them on an island or something like an idiot. Angel said, good morning, my RJ. Oh, wow, I didn't know she owned me. How is my sweetheart today? I'm doing okay. I'm doing maroon. The Megan, sure, said, finally made it to one of these. Well, here you are. Rob said, old people wear brown because brown disguises all the stains. Yes. So we should all start wearing brown because we all stain. These bodies don't work, let's be honest. Smoocher said, how do you get over a broken heart? You put it back together. You embrace where you're at, and it's totally fine, and realize that emotions are emotions and thoughts are thoughts, and thoughts you must control, because when they get out of control, they can control your emotions. It's no good. Feel your emotions and feel them, knowing that ultimately one day they will pass. When you break up with someone, sometimes you don't even think another person exists. You know what I mean? You're like, that was the only person on earth. They're gone now. It's over. And then all these people start falling from the sky. There's a lot of shit going on out there. So you expand your worldview, because it is ultimately bigger than you think. What is your opinion, says Rob, on the Alfred Finney Scrooge musical? It's okay. Kind of over Scrooge. I got to be honest. My favorite Scrooge, and I know it's not the best one, is A Muppet Christmas Carol. It's a good way to rework it. All the retellings, I guess, after Alistair Sim have fallen flat for me, other than that one. Spencer said, when is it a bad idea to remain friends after a breakup? If it becomes difficult for you, if it's essentially, first of all, if the person's just not a good friend, that's possible. They could be a good boyfriend or girlfriend, not a good friend, number one. Number two, if it makes the getting over harder, you should really just take a clean break right now and see how you feel and give it time. You don't go straight into a friendship. And what is a friendship anyway? Friends I'm friends with, I barely talk to. I'm not going to talk to them anyway. All right, I'm sorry. I'm going to get back to these questions, but first, we have some scooping to do. And this is an espresso roast. It's fair trade. We are feeding school for 1 week of food, apparently, according to this. Now, what school and what we're feeding them, I'm not quite sure. But nevertheless, I feel like a good person today. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, very good. And finally, a bit. Let's get back to some questions about life and love and mirth. Where are we? Michelle said, good morning, you maroons. Hope you're all having a lovely morning. That's very sweet. Bill said, so any good Christmas gift ideas for your loved ones this year? Well, I guess it would depend on the person. What shouldn't you get them? Don't get them shoes if you don't know their size. That's probably a bad idea. Just get a gift card or say, you know what's a good thing? Let me take you out and buy you something for Christmas. Do it now. Like say to your nephew or something, let's go to the store, let's go to the mall for Christmas. We'll look around. I'll buy you something that you want. That's nice. I'll make a little experience. You got to give me the shit with a card and the wrapping. I'm not going to like it anyway. I want the joy of walking in there like a big spender. Angel says, what do you think of Cats being delayed? I think the delay should continue. Jason said, what is your favorite Christmas cartoon? Rudolph, the Burl Ives thing there, not really crazy about them. He's very, very, very mean. I like the Frosty one. And the Little Drummer Boy made me very sad because it's very boring. Pantyless Grandma says, good morning. Semi-serious dating question. When dating a person and the other person drops their messaging from every day to maybe once a week and doesn't pick it up again, does that mean they're not interested? It may not. However, if you're the kind of person who needs the daily contact from the person and they're not giving it to you, then you are the person who should move on. Don't wait for them to tell you that they're not interested. If you're not getting what you need, you gotta fucking move on. So you are in control. Do not forget that. Bill said, good morning and salutations to you all. Thank you. Jeff said, will we get an RJ City 12 Days of Christmas? Maybe. I was thinking of doing something Christmassy. Maybe I'll do an Ask Me Anything bullshit video kind of thing. But I'll be traveling next week and in between Christmas and New Year's. So something weird will happen. Rob said, what are you getting your mom? I don't know. We're beginning to have that discussion already. I throw it out to the family and then they powwow. And then she'll end up getting the list and shooting everything down. Smooches said, we need an RJ City advent calendar where you can watch me make one on YouTube if you type in the Cynical Crafter. It's also on my Twitter. Go scroll a bit. It's totally there. Bill said, the Mr. Magoo Christmas is a hoot. Yes, it is. And there's also a really, really, really bad one with Henry Winkler. I implore you to check it out. Michelle said a Garfield Christmas seems to be a forgotten classic. Yeah, because I had no idea that it even existed. You know what else is really bad? Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown is boring and annoying, and if he was alive and we went to school together, I wouldn't like him. Anyway, if you are just joining us, I got these fun Diesel-y maroon things on. Very sophisticated, very adult of me. And we're making this wonderful coffee. Let me continue reading. Our espresso blend provides an everyday taste of La Dolce Vita. Small in stature, yet bombastic in flavor. That's what we'll be looking for. It's bigger than you'd expect. The Earth Group is committed to ending world hunger. This is where we'll pull out of this funk soon. In partnership with the United Nations World Food Programme, each year we donate a minimum of 400,000 school meals to children around the world. Together, the Earth Group and WFP and me saving lives. Good timing because the water is, bear with me. All right. Very exciting today. Things are going well. There we are. This is a nice shot. And I'll take a nice, maybe everyone can take a nice screenshot of this and post it and say, look at what you're missing on the show. Again, when you don't have the gooseneck to go around and get the fine direction, it's good to move the French press around. You're getting all the ground wet. And not moist, wet, submerged, really. You're essentially drowning them. And then there we go, and don't feel bashful about filling it too high, because it'll sink. Not too high, because then it'll come out, but okay, we'll let that. I'll put the timer on. Bear with me. As I you. Finn just wrote Ethel Merman, and I completely agree. Somebody just said, what is your favorite love song? Depends what you classify as a love song. Perhaps If I Was a Carpenter. It's very heartfelt. It's very moving. Let Me Call You Sweetheart is a good one. Beautiful Dreamer. The list goes on. Jeff said, did you see Allie and Pepper Parks on AEW? No, I saw a bunch of creepy people in masks. And one guy in a monocle. The hell? Rob said, what's your favorite TV show Christmas episode? Oh, you know what? This one, I guess, doesn't count. It kind of does. John Denver did a Christmas special with the Muppets. That would be my favorite. Do I have any special plans for New Year's? Yes, Angel. I'm wrestling on New Year's Eve in Los Angeles with David Arquette. It's a bar wrestling show, and it's not going to go well at all. That's all I can say. It's not going to go well at all. Jason said, please travel to NXT. Thank you. Somebody get me, where's the location? Do I say 1 ticket to NXT, please? I just show up there and they say, hey, take an arm check. And I go, great, thanks. And I can post about it and then go home. Jeff said, would you ever shop at Canadian Tire? Yes. And for those of you who don't know, Canadian Tire is like, oh, how do I explain? It's like a cross between a Home Depot and a Walmart. It's basically a Walmart. And they have colored money. They have their own money, which is very weird. And will I shop there? Yes, because sometimes they have appliances and things I need that are on sale. Nails in New York said, good morning. Good morning to you, Nails. Spencer Devlin said, I'm sure you've been asked 1,000 times, what's the story behind your stage name? There really is no story. I was given a couple options. RJ Durrani, and I would come out to Hungry Like a Wolf, and RJ Hasselhoff, the wrestling lifeguard. And I would just dive into the ring, and if opponent had been knocked out, I'd perform CPR on them. This is what was pitched to me. So I kind of backtracked and said I already had a name, and fumbled, and then came up with a couple, and this was one, and it sounded kind of normal, kind of catchy, kind of cool. Little did I know that that would be meaningless. I just call myself whatever I want because my life is in shambles. But I guess that's a story. It's not really a story, but nevertheless. So Kari says, RJ, pick which one of my love dating stories you want to react to. Bathroom renovation or spare tire? Ooh, I think I want bathroom renovation, but I hope at some point you tell spare tire. Please hit me with bathroom renovation. Rob said, didn't Golden Girls have a Christmas episode? Yes, and I believe they were trapped in a diner. There was a storm, and they spent Christmas in a diner, and there they learned the meaning of Christmas. I'm positive they had a couple Christmas episodes. Bill said, could we get an RJ City Christmas musical version of doing coffee in his underwear as a gift to all of us this year? I'll work on it. Oh, yes. Angel says, oh, David Arquette, Mr. Ride on your RJ City coattails. Sure. Jason said, do you think Aiden English is ripping off your gimmick? No, because he would have to be a lot better to capture my oeuvre. He's fun. It's nice singing, but come on. Bill said, would Would have loved to see you come out to the Hungry Like the Wolf entrance. Was it a Duran Duran gimmick? Yeah. It was a Duran Duran gimmick, and me not being familiar with them, because generally speaking, they're too recent for me, I didn't really grasp it all. Carmack, thank you. Reminds me of the Golden Girls episode where, Stan was Santa Claus. Lest we forget. All right, let us press. Had a nice time pressing here. Fill the round. It's no spillage at all. And as we get ready for Christmas and as we welcome December into our lives, we want to wish happiness and health to all our family and friends and ourselves, and good fortune and good fun. There we go. Let it sit. Let the sediment settle. A press ginger said, opinion on cheese balls. Not crazy about them. I like cheese as cheese. I don't like a cheese thing. You know what I mean? It's weird when people say cheese pizza. It's like, what's on pizza normally? I like things to be their things. I like cheese. I like balls. I like them to be separate. Niels in New York said, we've been tweeting companies. Any Long Island or New York wrestling bookings yet? Nope. Not wrestling-wise. However, I will be showing up in that area in many different ways very soon. So keep yourself abreast. Jason said, RJ City action figure on its way, preferably in underwear. You know, it's like 2 people have made me like my own customs ones. And they're nice. I don't think people would buy them, to be honest with you. Because, I like I myself am a toy enough. Rob said, who has the better Christmas albums, Frank Sinatra or Elvis Presley? It depends on your level of how much Jesus you want on your Christmas. If you want a lot of Jesus in your Christmas, Elvis. If you want just a little bit of Jesus, Frank Sinatra. And if you want no Jesus, go straight for the Motown, the Phil Spector Christmas album. My 7-year-old, Jeff said, my 7-year-old son, Jackson, asked, would you drink green coffee with green eggs and ham? I had green coffee before, and it is delightful. I'm not a fan of ham. I'm not a ham fan. So I would pass on the ham. The eggs would have to be egg whites. So I guess they would be called egg greens. So if you give me green coffee and egg greens, I'd be very interested, Jackson. Michelle said, seems like when I'm dating, it feels like guys have lost the ability to create dates and rely on me to make all the plans. Is that common, or is it just something I'm dealing with? I think it's common because A, people are very boring, and B, they get so intimidated about things, about doing something good, that they would rather give up and say, well, what do you want to do? And then nothing gets accomplished. They don't understand that. They should say, hey, let's do a thing. Maybe the answer is they really don't do anything fun in their lives. Bill said, don't forget the Dean Martin Christmas album. Yes, Bobby Darin also had one. I'm lining them up, and I haven't gone through them yet because December just started, and I don't have the capacity right now. So, just give me a minute. Let's pour a cup. Let's pour a nice, fun, hearty cup. Again, these are diesel maroons. That's what I call them. Oh, this looks nice and fun. And according to the bag, I'm supposed to prepare myself for bombastic flavor. So we'll see how that goes. Jeff said his son Jackson also asked, do I have Elf on a shelf? No, I don't have Elf on a shelf. I have 2 cats. And sometimes they go on shelves and sometimes they don't. And that's enough for me. I never enjoyed the elf on the shelf. I felt it was creepy. I felt it was a little mysterious that he's lurking around the house. And if provided an elf could stay in one place, that's the only circumstance I would invite him in my home. But thank you, Jackson, and good question. So Karia said, this is the home renovation. Oh my God. Okay. Everyone listen to this story. One of my uncles got caught cheating on his girlfriend at my grandmother's house. First of all, just the balls on your uncle. Dear Lord. And he could only be an uncle. You would never tell this story about a father. You know what I mean? and one of your uncles. It makes it so much easier. The girls started fighting in the house. They ended up tearing my grandmother's sink out of the wall. Now, this reminds me of last week when I was talking with Eddie Kingston on the show. And I said, I'd rather smash shit in someone else's house than my own. And he said, no, if you do that, then you're going to war. So imagine being a grandmother and your grandson has caused these two strange women to not only fight in your home, but rip your sink out of the wall. You'd have to start hitting them. You'd have to start, I imagine, attacking them with a broom. So Kari says, my uncle told them whoever lost the fight lost him and had to pay for my grandmother's bathroom to get fixed. The man had a duel, basically, a fight for his love. And my other question, I'd like to get this man on the phone, is how do you determine who won the fight? Is it first knockout? Do you score points on takedowns? Or is it an old-fashioned fight to the death? In that case, of course, the loser would lose. Oh, my God. The girl that lost did pay for the renovations. And, your uncle is a real Lothario for a bunch of reasons, but that is a clever, clever way to solve that problem and to get your grandmother's bathroom fixed. That whole escapade might have really been worth it in the long run if your grandmother got a free bathroom renovation out of the deal. She must have been telling him, go sleep with more people. Go sleep around. Make more mistakes. Maybe they'll knock over a lamp in the living room. That's amazing. Please next week tell me the spare tire. I want 1 week. That was insane. So Karia, ladies and gentlemen, do we applaud? Can I cue applause? Pangela's grandma said, the men do that here too. Also, people are poor, so I guess that's one too. Ooh, Rob said Ray Conniff has a cool Christmas album, and I will enjoy listening to it. And you know who I hope has a Christmas album? I'm going to look it up when we're done. Al Hurt. There's a guy who could just knock it out to the back row. It's all fun and games until somebody puts on Al Hurt. Aaron said, what are your cats' names? Well, let's see if there's anyone. No, they're not here. Sorry. They're sisters. You've probably seen both of them and think they look the same and think they're the same cats. They're very similar. One is named Julia and one is named Sylvia. And they're named after my grandmother and her sister. And I'm not going to cry because I'm fine. Spencer said, your uncle had stipulations? Yeah. Oh, okay. So Sakaria said the fight ended because the one girl gave up. She stopped fighting back. How good is the dick that you're willing to get your ass kicked for it? This started, I thought, this woman shitting on her uncle. But Sakaria came all the way around to just complimenting him, saying these two women were willing to bruise and batter themselves for the loving this guy was throwing down. And he got a new sink. His dick is so good, it got him a bathroom renovation. Not even in his own house. Holy shit. Winner by submission. Yes, Spencer, that's correct. Let's talk about this coffee because I've been drinking and I've been so caught up in the bathroom renovation story. Dear Lord. It's a good coffee, but I don't think it's really an espresso roast. I'm supposed to get bombastic flavor. Maybe I need to think about it. I don't know if it's bombastic. That's a real big word to throw out. I've never seen it on a coffee bag before. But it does the job. I'm enjoying it. Rob says Al Hurt does have a Christmas album called Al Hurt, The Sound of Christmas. And I'm going to listen to it the second I get off this program. Good old Al. Anyone doesn't know, that's good. That's not lovemaking music. That's like goofy uncle making you breakfast kind of music, but it works. Jason McFarlane asks, have I ever wrestled Jake Atlas? I've wrestled with John Atlas, but not Jake. I think I'm going to go with him New Year's in LA. I feel like he's on that show. I believe I've met him before, and I think he's a fine young chap. Jason said, you're my favorite online personality, which is very sweet. I love it. You always fuck when it has to be qualified by a medium. You know what I mean? You're my favorite television personality. Smooch said, have you ever been in a shoot fight, RJ? Well, I assume you mean, so for those of you who don't know, a shoot fight is when you're wrestling and then things happen all of a sudden for real. I don't think I have. I'm thinking other than like a few accidents, like and stuff like that. I don't think people have gone crazy on me. I don't think I'm interested in going crazy on them because like it's clearly a show. And if you do that, you're kind of bad at this. I mean, rolled around with some amateurs in my day. That kind of business. But no. On the mic, it's a different story. I like to win before I even start. Nails in New York said, you're so quick-witted and knowledgeable and articulate, you would be brilliant as a presenter or interviewer. If it was on a wrestling show, you would be a brilliant, shady bastard. I would love to go on like host my own talk show on PBS, like a Tavis Smiley or a Dick Cavett. That's where I'm headed. That's the trajectory I'm aiming for. I'm going to do it starting here. Angel said, have you ever wrestled Phil Atlas? I've wrestled him a number of times. Well-conditioned. I'm talking about his hair. Finn said, thoughts on the film Oh God with John Denver? For those of you who don't know, that's a movie where John Denver basically becomes friends with God, and God is played by George Burns. And so that's how old this movie is. It was back before Morgan Freeman was playing God. Because while George Burns was still alive, Morgan Freeman was out of a fucking job. And George Burns was a good God. He was a nice God. I liked his God. I thought it was a fun movie. Rob said, you did amateur wrestling? What other sports did you do in college school? I didn't formally do any sports in college because in high school, because I went to an arts high school. And legend has it is that my high school had a choice between having a football team or having 2 trees in the cafeteria. You know, like if you go to a mall, there's like an actual tree in the mall. So long story short, no football team, but 2 trees. And then by the time I was in university, I think I started wrestling already. So it was never like, I was pretty clearly a showman. Michelle said, can we just take pause at the fact that these chicks rip the sink out of a wall? I feel like, you know what, Sakari, I'm going to say your grandmother would at that point not have a weak sink. She had a decent sink. I felt like probably one had grabbed hold, one was losing, and then was yanked backwards. So I feel like it was 2 of them. Ain't no stick worth my adrenaline turning into crackhead strength to fight over. Crackhead strength indeed. Tales in New York said, you're going to watch the new Anna Kendrick Christmas movie, Noel? Absolutely not. I guarantee you that's one thing I won't be watching. So Karia said, my grandmother has 4 boys and a girl, your mother. When I first met my grandfather in the 90s, he had 3 live-in girlfriends. He's in his late 70s now and has downgraded to 2 girlfriends and a healthy Viagra prescription. This is a fucking family. That shit is genetic, and that's why your grandmother didn't say shit, because she knew. She was like, here's the family up to his shit again. It's that fucking gene. This is insane. This is wonderful. I also love how like they started fighting, they knocked the sink out. There was this break in the action, and then your uncle's like, hold up. This is what we're gonna do. Set the rules, and then he's like, Judge Mills Laned it. Smooches said, have you ever been in a real life fist fight, like a bar fight? No, I'm good at de-escalating things because I don't care. It's so weird to me that I would hate someone so much that I would hurt my hand hitting them. It makes 0 sense to me. There's better ways to hurt people. I feel like it's a very dumb thing to do to get into that kind of fight. I also feel like if you're having an argument with someone and then they make it physical, they've lost the argument. That's like the last resort because they're kind of animals. When I worked at a bar, I was a young waiter, and I actually prevented a fight. A fight had started to happen, and I de-escalated it by saying, guys, it's a Tuesday. No one fights on a Tuesday. Don't do this. Thursday to Sunday, all yours. Tonight, Tuesday, it's not necessary. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're right, man. You're right, man. It's the people who fight, it's that easy. They're also kind of dumb because they have poor control of their emotions and they don't know how to articulate them. Just throwing it out there. I also don't go to bars. So Spencer said, Michelle, it's fairly easy to rip a sink out of a wall. Don't ask me how I know. Spencer has been up to some business. Bill said, just found a B. Arthur version of Fawlty Towers where she plays the Basil character. Ever seen it? I've only heard of it. If you have it as a link, please send it to me. I've not seen it. Jason said, how long have you been wrestling? Have you had a tryout at NXT? I've been wrestling since 1962. And have I had a tryout at NXT? Yes. And that's a story for another day. It's a good one. I'll save it maybe if I'm on someone else's show. If I'm getting paid a lot of money. I'm sitting on it because it wasn't bad or horrible. It was just a fun story. Bill said it was called Amanda's by the Sea with B. Arthur. Everyone look that up. Obviously, just not the same tone as Fawlty Towers, but whatever. Penniless Grandma said, do you prefer live-action Christmas movies to animated ones? Because the new Klaus animation is really pretty good. It depends. There's good movies and bad movies. I like animation that has its own unique style. Sometimes with all the CGI animation, I feel like I've been watching the same movie for like the past 15 years. You know what I mean? Like Toy Story, and then I feel like everything can almost fit into that same universe. I'm not crazy about it. Just because I like to go into a different, so if you do a claymation or, whatever. I'm going to say Triplets of Belleville pops into my head. It's something that's like a bit unique to itself. It's very interesting. Rye said, if you could do something visiting Washington, D.C., what would you do? Well, I've been to Washington, D.C. 2 or 3 times, and mainly museums. But I will say this. Allegedly, my great-great-aunt was an artist, a sculptor, and so forth in Italy, and one of her works is at the Smithsonian. And when I went there, the last time I went there, it was a long time ago, that particular wing was closed and you could not see it. So I was upset because it was the one thing I went to see. So I'd probably go back and see that and then marvel at how the artistry in my family has degenerated because of me. Nails New York said, did Jack Hay reply to your thirst trap tweet calling her out? No, she didn't, and she ought to be ashamed of herself. So Karia said, my grandfather is a musician. For your information, which makes all the sense in the world. He has a saxophone. FYI, they pulled the sink out by pulling on the pipe under it that goes to the wall. So they took it to the ground early, and then they were scrambling around, and that's where it happened. Rob said, as a wrestler and tall guy, don't you get dickheads trying to prove themselves by starting on you? No, because, and I'll tell you why, and I was just talking about this last night. A while ago, I dated a girl briefly for 2 weeks, years and years and years and years ago, and she described me as a passive-aggressive alpha male, and I realized, you're totally correct. So the genius of my presentation is the traditional alpha male who's looking for a fight or whatever does not realize what they're getting into here. I play passive until they make the first move, and then I can criticize that, and by that point, they've already lost. So, yeah, that's my psychological summary for the day. Aaron said, a very sweet woman at the nail salon yesterday asked me if my Golden Girls wallet was a picture of my family, and in a way, yes. It would be like that's normal to have a picture of a Golden Girls on your wallet. But like to have a picture of your actual family would be very, very weird. Jason, you could go back to Washington, D.C. You should do the monument tour at night. I went as a field trip in high school, and one of my friends, the guy was a photographer. He was like a trip photographer, and he had a very expensive camera that was the school's, I believe, with the long lens and shit. And he was taking a picture of us, and he was backing up, and he tripped backwards, and he fell into the fountain of the Korean War Memorial. The kicker is that he was also Korean. So, fate. Jason said, does that mean you're not going to NXT? I'm sad now. It means I'm going to PBS, Jason. Get it together. Michelle said, I prefer to use words to fight. Yeah, of course. I'll say some time release shit, and then they won't catch it right away, but it'll hit them after they replay the event. It's my way to get the last fuck you in. There's so many better ways to get back at people than, like, hitting them. It's dumb. I like to wait 8 to 10 years and make a prank phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm serious, by the way. Spencer says, Jason, there are many other options outside of WWE. Pep up. By the way, if you want me to go there and make the big money, keep in mind it's your own money. They would just be giving me your money. So just give your money to me. Buy a shirt, watch my shit. It's the same thing, as opposed to buying a shirt through them and then I get a cut of it, and then you got to watch their shit and then I get a cut of that. Just cut out the middleman, my friend. Nils New York, you're the only person whose tweets I subscribe to so I can jump on if you announce an appearance near me. That's very sweet. That's very, very sweet. Bill said, by the way, if you use Cody, what? Oh, that thing. I found the B show Man by the Sea in an ad on called Best British Comedy, but if I find it online, I'll let you know. Well, now that I remember it, I'm going to see if I can hunt myself. And I'm going to crank up the Al Hurt album while I do it, too. Jason says, but I want RJ to be seen on a world. You can watch this show anywhere in the world. You can watch this show more places than you can watch any wrestling show. And this is the beauty of YouTube. Just send this to people. If you have a friend in Bangladesh, send this to your friend in Bangladesh. They can watch me in Bangladesh. I mean, if you don't have any friends in Bangladesh, that's fine. Nails New York said, do you think you could out-insult MJF? I'd love to see that. I'll tell you something. Me and MJF hadn't had any interactions in the ring, but we had a really fun car ride once. And I look forward to doing that again one day. Maybe I'll just chauffeur him around. It's enough with the scarf, though. It gets so itchy. It gets so itchy. That was Betty Davis? The world deserves it, says Jason. Thank you, Jason. That's sweet. Spencer said there are several other worldwide platforms, Jason. Rob said Amy Jo Johnson is still wondering who's calling her. Yeah, she's on my list of people that piss me off and I have to get back at. If you don't remember, I have a personal beef with Amy Jo Johnson, who played Kimberly, the Pink Ranger on the Power Rangers. She was supposed to come on Cynical Crafter, and we got it all set up, and then she pulled out at the last minute, and we were very upset. And she was my childhood crush, so there was a lot at play there. Nova, a woman who is also apparently a pro wrestler, according to her title, says, I now understand the extent of your hatred for football. You chose trees in a cafeteria. Well, I didn't choose them. That's, the hand I was dealt. However, the other thing with football I'm not crazy about is all the equipment. There's so much shit. Why is there so much shit? It's too much. I love wrestling where it's like boots, tights. That's it. I feel like if I ever play football, I'd be getting ready for hours and hours and hours. Never ends. And they got the towels hanging out of the back of their pants. Weird people. Anyway, I'm sure it works well, though. Smooch just said, I think RJ would do good in New Japan. I would love to go to DDT in Japan. If anyone needs to ruin that establishment with hijinks, it would be me. Rye said, thanks for the insights. Mulling over what to do in DC today, and I'll consider the Smithsonian. Right. I didn't realize you were going. You also, if anyone needs to go to the Smithsonian, it's you. They have like Mr. Rogers' sweater, not the shitty one with Tom Hanks, who looks like Ronald Reagan in that movie. They have his real one. They also have Judy Garland's Dorothy ruby slippers. They have a whole thing. The Smithsonian's huge, and I feel like it's also a couple buildings of different stuff. So look it up and do it, and let me know how it goes. AJ said, is my hatred of Amy Jo Johnson the reason that I wear my hair like Tommy, the Green White Ranger? Not only that, it's the reason I learned how to play the flute, the power flute. Someone was telling me the other day they did not realize that the Power Rangers, all the fighting footage was Japanese and they just filmed the other English parts. It was very weird that they didn't realize that. It was pretty obvious to me. I know what Angel Grove High School looks like, and that's no Angel Grove. I also miss Bulk and Skull, the rotund fella and the skinny fella on the show. They were very good. At any rate, now that I've shared my beef with Amy Jo, she's obviously not coming on in any form. That's fine, even though she lives in Toronto, and whatever, I'll run into her someday. Cormac says, now I see the resemblance. I guess that's it for today. I think I proved my point about life and love and Maroon. Nails New York said, if you want AEW, you'd be great in the inner circle. I don't like to socialize. Like an evil advisor to Jericho to tell him a dastardly move to make next. Yeah, I'd be like, sell more wine. Cormac said, you look like Tommy. Thank you. Great. Thanks, AJ. I appreciate it. Well, anyway, that is the program today. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Sicaria, for that wonderful story about your Lothario uncle and those women who ruined your grandmother's sink. I'll be thinking about it all day. God bless you. Oh, Michelle said happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, we already got it. Good luck. And God bless.